Maps. They're used by people to find things. Things like pirate treasure, or tourist attractions, or your mother. They can also be used to present interesting data on a global level. And so there are countless amazing maps that can help us better understand the world. So the next time you hear someone say maps are only for nerds and pirates, tell them to shut their dumb Scandinavian mouth. When I first saw this, I thought it was just a meme, but it's legit. It shows the Chinese name for each European country, directly translated to English. And it turns out their name for Ireland is Love Your Orchid. Spain is West Class Tooth. Sweden is Very Lucky Soldiers. Czechia is Victory Grand Republic. Meanwhile, they nailed Iceland. Also Russia, which does make sense as Russia borders China. Belarus is White Russia, which is actually what Belarus means. They're also accurate with the UK, calling us Brave Land, and with Turkey, knowing it as Earth Ear It's. China, it's a magical, wonderful place. This map shows how territory is distributed in the Mexican drug war. There are 3 major players in the war: the Gulf Alliance, shown in green, the Sinaloa Cartel, shown in red, and Tierra Caliente, shown in blue. Named after the part of Mexico they hail from, Tierra Caliente has been rapidly expanding in recent years, aggressively going after valuable territory like Tijuana and Mexico City. Their presence on the map will likely change soon, but we can't say how. They are led by a man known as El Mencho, the top target for the Mexican government. If he's taken out, the cartel will likely disintegrate as a power struggle breaks out, as happened when El Chapo was arrested. He was leader of the Sinaloa cartel, which at the time was Mexico's most powerful. But after the fall of El Chapo, the power struggle between his children and one of his main captains almost tore the cartel apart. It is weakened now, but they still own Tijuana and Juarez. On the other side you have the Gulf Alliance, a cobblestone of competing factions, claiming to be the successors of Los Zetas and the Gulf Cartel, 2 syndicates that fell into chaos after their leaders were taken down. This map basically shows what people Google about each country. It's called the National Obsession Map, and is mostly shaped by tourism and by what people are just curious about. Greenland has land, because people are just curious about how much land costs there. Cuba has cigars, Tanzania has safari, and Brazil has prostitute. But some are more surprising. Iran has kidney, New Zealand has vasectomy, Japan has watermelon, apparently because they sell square watermelon there. Canada has passport. I'm not sure why anyone would be interested in that. Breaking stereotypes, Saudi Arabia has camel, as does Egypt, Jordan, Israel and Afghanistan. China has electronics, and Papua New Guinea doesn't seem to exist. I've always suspected it wasn't a real place, because you never meet a Papua New Guinean, and now we know the truth. So much of how society is can be explained by language. One of the major factors in shaping a cultural identity, language plays a part in almost every ethnic conflict. Among the causes of the Yugoslav wars was that people started to see Croat as a separate language from Serb, severing one of the few ties that bound Yugoslavia together. If you don't know language, you don't know anything about the world. One of the many dimensions worth looking at is the distribution of second languages. That's what this map shows. Australia has Mandarin, speaking to the country's links with China. As well as having a sizable Asian population, Australia's economic growth is reliant on China. But New Zealand has Maori, which more than anything shows how small her population is. Belarus has Belarusian, because their first language is actually Russian. Kyrgyzstan has Uzbek, thanks to Stalin. He redrew the borders to make Soviet states less likely to gain independence. Because of this, there's now a ton of ethnic Uzbeks in Kyrgyzstan, and vice versa. Argentina has Italian, as much of its population are of recent Italian immigrant stock, but a lot of other Native American states have native languages. Mexico has the Aztec language, which a lot of people assume is a dead language, but no, it's still going strong. Do you ever wonder what countries are the most grape-tastic? Well, that's what this map shows. Some countries are more grapey than others. Europe looks like it's been wiped out by a nuclear grape winter. Russia really isn't very grape at all. Nor is Africa. Antarctica doesn't seem to have any grapes. Poor thing. China's rise to be the world's dominant global superpower is inevitable, but their ascent will not be obstacle-free. To check the new influence of China, the US is forging closer ties with smaller states of Asia, but so is China. This map shows the result of this. Countries in blue are those shifting towards America, red are shifting towards China, those in green are playing both sides. Japan and South Korea are natural allies of the US, as is Taiwan, fearing China will invade her. That same fear has made Vietnam a US ally, and causes North Korea to play both sides. For decades, the Kim dynasty feared China would overthrow them and annex their state, but Laos has readily welcomed Chinese influence. Most interesting is South Asia. Knowing India is their only real long-term power rival, China is encircling her, making allies of Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. On top of that, they're putting huge effort into winning over Burma. It is starting to look like India might be in trouble, but at least they have a lot of grapes. This map shows the location of our world's 50 cities with the highest murder rates. Every one of them is in the Americas, apart from 3, which are in South Africa. America has 5, Detroit, New Orleans, Baltimore, St. Louis and San Juan. Mexico has 12, Brazil has 17, North Korea has none. Once again, Kimmy is victorious. It is possible the map is slightly inaccurate thanks to a lack of data. For example, we don't know the current murder rate of Sana'a or anywhere else in Yemen, but still. Aliens. They're a crafty bunch, always visiting the world in secret, abducting cows and annoying farmers. Not good. This map shows the areas and frequency where UFOs have been reported since 1905. With over 90,000 reported sightings going into it, there's no doubt this map is conclusive proof of aliens. You'll immediately notice some areas are UFO hotspots. Arizona, Washington and New Jersey stand out, but none stand out more than Illinois. There are many theories why so many UFOs are sighted over Illinois. It could be something to do with Chicago's main airport, one of the busiest in America, but closer inspection shows no correlation between sightings and airport activity. I think a more likely explanation is that a lot of people who live in the state are secretly alien. Get this, the 2 senators from Illinois are called Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth. Those are clearly fake names. They're aliens. It's a state run by aliens. In 1802, Thomas Jefferson predicted that the fate of America would depend on the Mississippi River. In short, he said that whoever controlled what is now Louisiana could make or break the future of the country. To understand why he believed that, just look at this map. It shows the many smaller rivers that feed into the Mississippi, all 7,000 of them. This enormous network is America's natural highway system and has proven vital for transportation, commerce and warfare. Without it, the United States might not even exist. It was only after the South lost control of the Mississippi that their chances of winning the Civil War collapsed. In 1992, a shipping container was loaded onto a ship bound from Hong Kong to America. But then, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it was lost to the waves, along with its contents, 29,000 rubber ducks. And so the fate of those 29,000 ducks was left to the current. This map shows what route they took. Within the year, they began to wash up on the shores of Hawaii and Alaska. Years later, ducks reached Australia, Indonesia and mainland America. After a decade at sea, ducks were found in eastern Canada, Scotland and France. They have been found in all kinds of places, even frozen within blocks of ice in the Arctic. The ducks have actually taught us a lot about currents, with oceanographer Curtis Ebsmeyer studying their movements. With thousands of ducks still circulating in the oceans of our world, who knows where they will be found next?